What did Vincent Kompany see in Wilson Odobert to make him say this? I will almost refrain from what I really think about him because at this moment in time, I don't think people realise how good he really is. Spurs missed out on signing one 19-year-old French winger this summer in Desiree Doué, but in Wilson Odobert, they may have just found the perfect alternative. Doué and Odobert share a lot of the same qualities in terms of their explosiveness, their ball-carrying ability, and their versatility. A winger has clearly been high on the agenda for Tottenham this summer after they saw a bid rejected last week for Pedro Neto, and when PSG came in for Desiree Doué, the money got silly. But here's why Wilson Odobert could be the ideal alternative and why I think he'll thrive under Ange Postecoglou. In Wilson Odobert, Spurs have signed someone who is comfortable playing out wide or comfortable playing centrally as well as more of that advanced 8 or that number 10. When he plays centrally, he's brilliant at receiving the ball deep on the half turn and driving at players. With his ability to play out wide or play centrally as well, he's got that versatility, as I mentioned, that Spurs were obviously keen on when they were looking at their wingers, which is why they hunted someone like Desiree Doué for so long. As I mentioned, I think Doué and Odobert profile quite similarly, and another trait that I see in Doué that I also see in Odobert is that lower body strength. When you look at someone like Raheem Sterling in his prime or Eden Hazard when he was at Chelsea, one of the main reasons he was so hard to get off the ball was that low centre of gravity, but also that lower body strength. That strength makes him so hard to knock off the ball when he's running with it, and if you double that up with his explosive pace as well, Wilson Odobert can be incredibly hard to stop. This was obviously a very quick transfer saga, a very open and shut case, with Tottenham confirming the signing of Wilson Odobert around 10 minutes after those links were first reported. And there has been a lot of excitement on social media around the signing of Wilson Odobert from Tottenham fans and other fan bases as well, with many fans saying that he profiles like a taller Raheem Sterling, and I can very much see that. Like I said, he's got that lower body strength that Sterling had as well, the way he's able to jink in and out of players on both feet, go both ways. But I think that added height that Wilson Odobert possesses could make him an even trickier customer for Premier League fullbacks to deal with in a few years' time than Raheem Sterling was potentially. Another key factor in Tottenham's decision to spend £25 million on Wilson Odobert is his Premier League experience. He played 29 games for Burnley in the Premier League last season at just 18 years old and caused problems for fullbacks up and down the country. And some of his best performances for Burnley did come against top opposition in the Premier League, standout performances against Chelsea and Liverpool, as well as against Tottenham. Wilson Odobert had to be patient at Burnley last season to get his chance, and injuries paved the way for him. Luka Koleosho got injured for Burnley in December, and that allowed Wilson Odobert to get a consistent run in the team, originally at left wing, but later on in the season he moved centrally, playing as that number 10, and that's actually where he was best for Burnley, being that link between the defence and attack, so good in transition. Odobert certainly passes the eye test as that tricky, exciting winger, but when you delve into the data, it 100% backs up the quality that he showed for Burnley in the Premier League last season. Compared to other midfielders across Europe's top 5 leagues, Wilson Odobert ranked in the 99th percentile for carries into the penalty area, progressive carries, successful take-ons and take-ons completed last season, as well as in the 98th percentile for touches in the opposition box. And when you compare that to forwards as well, the stats stack up. He ranks in the 97th percentile for progressive carries and successful take-ons. With all of Tottenham's signings this season, we've talked about their off-the-ball ability in terms of their ability to press, and Wilson Odobert is brilliant at that as well, averaging 3 ball recoveries for Burnley last season, again a non-negotiable in Ange Postecoglou's system. I very much see this signing of Wilson Odobert as the Desiree Doué alternative. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I do think they profile quite similarly, and when you delve into the data further, you'll see that Desiree Doué was one of only 3 teenagers to have more successful dribbles in Europe's top 5 leagues than Wilson Odobert last season. He also had the most successful dribbles for any teenager in the Premier League with 53. Seems like Ange has finally got his dribbly boy. We've talked about his ability on the ball in terms of his dribbling, how explosive he is, etc. But I expect Wilson Odobert's goals and assist numbers to go through the roof for Tottenham next season. 5 goal contributions for Burnley last season, 3 goals and 2 assists. And one thing I love about him is how comfortable he is crossing on both wings from both feet. As you can see in this example here against Tottenham, he's brilliant at slowing the play down. He's got an excellent rhythm about his play out wide, which allows him to stand up his fullback, get to the byline and stand the ball up to the forward in the box. His ability to take his man on, stand him up 1v1 and go past him is an ability Spurs have been crying out for in a winger. And it could easily lead to another 5-10 goals for Dominic Solanke next season when you think about his aerial presence in the box as well, which could be the difference between Tottenham qualifying for the Champions League. Given how he likes to hug the touchline, you can see him having an excellent relationship with Porro and Doggy on both sides, as they love to invert and underlap and make those runs. However, I do think we could see Tottenham's wingers inverting more this season, with Porro and Doggy overlapping more, so keep an eye out for that. And given how much he loves to drift inside as well as hug the byline, that could be deadly for Spurs. Speaking about his ability to drift inside, Wilson Odobert loves to come inside onto that right foot and get a shot away from that left wing. Got 3 goals last season, 2 from outside the box, 1 very much in that fashion against Brighton. And I think that was something that frustrated me with our wingers last season. You know the ball striking that Kulusevski and Son Heung-Min both possess, but I feel like they were both reluctant to do that at times. And in my opinion, the main trait that makes him very attractive to Ange Postecoglou is his bravery. His bravery to take players on, his bravery to cut inside and shoot. Ange wants young players who are ready to make that step up and make an impact in the first team. We've seen that with Lucas Bergvall, we've seen that with Archie Gray in pre-season. That fear is not there with these youngsters, and I think we've seen that in Wilson Odobert as well. In terms of his off-the-ball ability, he's got a great sense of when to make the run. You saw that with his goal against Luton on Monday for Burnley. Brilliant timing of the run in behind, and he gets on the end of the ball and slots it past the goalkeeper. This is what we want to see more of from Brennan Johnson next season, and now he's got competition in that area in Wilson Odobert. At just 19 years old, that brings the average age of Ange Postecoglou's 16 senior signings since he's been Tottenham manager down to just under 22 years old. Tottenham are clearly building for the future, and I understand why some fans are sceptical about this transfer, saying that we should have spent more money in this area given how key it is for Ange Postecoglou that he has quality wide players. But now with that deal done, that might free up more money for another midfielder who is more experienced, potentially a Premier League proven option, who is actually more crucial to the system than someone like Odobert is. Of course, Tottenham's wingers play a huge part in the way that we play, but having that experience in the spine of the team is more crucial in my opinion. And like I said, I come back to that versatility. The signing of Wilson Odobert actually unlocks another midfielder for next season in Dejan Kulusevski. If Odobert does play out wide, with Kulusevski, Maddison and Bergvall, Spurs have enough creativity and quality to supplement those wide players with balls in between the lines for them to run onto, as I spoke about in Odobert's goal for Burnley against Luton on Monday. Also, with Maddison and Kulusevski wanting to drift both inside and out wide, this can help create overloads for someone like Odobert for him to get his cross away, as we spoke about earlier in the video. You may not agree, but I think this signing is 100% proof that we are backing Ange Postecoglou. In terms of profile, Wilson Odobert is perfect for the system. He's perfect for Ange. I think a lot of the time people have this short-sighted view about backing and ambition and see it as just about spending loads of money. And I understand the scepticism given how important the wingers are to the system, and you could maybe argue Tottenham should have made more of a statement signing in that area, but in the past we have missed out on the likes of Eze, Jared Bowen, Jack Grealish and James Maddison as gems in the Championship at this stage, and Tottenham can ill afford to miss out on another one. West Ham signed Somerville from Leeds this summer, and many Spurs fans were annoyed that we didn't pursue that deal, but I believe if Odobert had stayed at Burnley this summer, he would have been on the shopping list of many Premier League clubs this time next year, just as Somerville was this year. Those were my thoughts on Tottenham's signing of Wilson Odobert. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching Up the Spurs.